For now, though, the wind's starting to pick up here in Charleston. We're getting 15-mile-per-hour winds. And that latest advisory here from the Hurricane Center, there it is right there. A Category 1 hurricane with winds of 85 miles per hour, 20 miles now southwest of Wilmington.
They're okay, especially where he is, but there's a whole lot still more to come. So I continue to be worried. I really do.
Yeah, and being in Leland with our station, I only live 5 minutes away, so I know whatever I see on our camera that's happening here is happening in my apartment. Whereas with you, it's a little further out.
Yeah. A few people who are close to my home have been sending me messages. So I am ever hopeful, ever hopeful. Well, you know, Hurricane Florence is a Category 1 storm right now, but it has brought life-threatening storm surge and hurricane-strength winds onto our coast. Coastal streets are already flooded, and tens of thousands of residents are without power.
Well, the high winds damaged roofs. They brought down tree limbs. They left many streets covered in debris. Scott says that the catastrophic freshwater flooding is expected over the portions of the Carolinas, and more than just today. Also, take a look at this video from Carolina Beach, downed trees. This is what we're going to see a lot of. We saw a tree that was pretty much snapped in half right here in Leland. This, again, video from Carolina Beach showing you multiple trees that have been knocked over. And this is what you're going to see, whether it's the rain that's bringing them down, the flooding, or whether it's the wind. Most of this is because of the wind.
Yeah, that looks like it's because of the wind. I'm wondering where that is in Carolina Beach.
Looks like a parking deck.
Yeah, well, there's
because you can see where you can pull
it. It's almost like a drive-through.
Not your restaurant. You see the cedar block?
Yeah.
On the side? Yeah. It's like it looks like you can scan your key card to get in. Like, is it a condo? Maybe a condo?
That's always a possibility. So
yeah.
We clearly don't know what we're looking at. So if you knew what that is, please let us know.
Those trees. That's what's important.
Exactly. That's what you need to know. That's what you need to know.
Outside. Yeah.
The hurricane has already inundated coastal streets with ocean water and left, like we said, tens of thousands of people without power. Forecasters do say the conditions will worsen as this storm slogs inland. Look at that.
Well, you know, screaming winds, bent trees like the ones we just saw towards the ground, and raindrops flew sideways, damaging buildings and more hit city as Florence's leading edge whipped the Carolina coast overnight to begin an onslaught that could last for days, leaving a wide area underwater from both heavy downpours and rising seas. Not a pretty.
No, it's not.
Another awning almost down there, another gas station.
Neither is this. This is not pretty either. Check out this power flash in Wilmington. It shows a transformer blowing and the brightness. Look at that. Boom. Wow. That is startling. And that is in Wilmington. That is amazing. That's what a lot of people heard. You can hear that people have been talking to us online through social media talking about transformers blowing all night, and then they're left in darkness, and that's what it looks like when you see something like that. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
Up close and personal, and pretty scary. Loud. It's like a loud screech, and then just happens.
And then it's quiet and dark.
And then it's quiet and
dark. Well, how about this? We talked about a few of these already. Video capturing a gas station canopy smashing to the ground during the storm.
So I didn't realize it until now. It's like you actually see it fall down. You see it where it's standing up there, like all the canopies, and then all of a sudden you can see where it starts to take a tumble, so to speak. Those beams that the canopy is sitting on, not withstanding the winds.
And this one is one we've seen before, but just look at it. It's just kind of like slow motion disaster happening here.
There you go. Oh, look at that. Falling down to the ground for those listening on the radio. We're looking at the BP awning. I think this is the one on Gordon Road, and as you can see, it is just tumbling down. If you're listening, we can tell you it has fallen. Wow.
Yeah, that is something to see. That is something to see. And remember, we are covering this on all of our stations, ABC, CBS, the Cape Fear CW. If you are not getting us on air right now, you can listen to us on the radio, 106.7, The Big Talker.
That's right.
So we've got you covered everywhere with Hurricane Florence, who is bringing powerful wind gusts and much driving rain. It is still considered a life-threatening storm. The storm surge, rather, is. There will be flash flooding that is predicted to get worse as the eye of the storm moves further through our area. ABC's Emily Rao is in Wilmington with the latest on the now deteriorating conditions.
Florence is moving less than 10 miles per hour inland, but the wind coming with it 10 times as fast.
Once these winds start blowing at that tropical storm rate, it will be virtually impossible for the rescuers to get in to rescue you.
Those tropical storm force winds now blasting an area hundreds of miles wide, ripping off this gas station canopy in Topsail Beach, North Carolina. As first responders pull back, the storm surge is rushing in. In New Bern, people wading through waist-deep water.
Right now, I'm currently sitting in my truck watching the water rise coming towards me.
And in Wilmington, the rain coming down sideways in sheets. Families who chose to stay and ride it out now bracing for the worst.
We have large pine trees in the backyard, and they're really bending a lot, and the wind's just howling away as I can hear it from inside the house.
Reports of structural damage already racking up and shelters overflowing.
And those intense winds, of course, knocking down power lines. We know at least 160,000 people are without power. Many more outages expected. More than 100 are waiting for rescue in New Bern, North Carolina, as this storm is just getting started. Emily Rao, ABC News, Wilmington, North Carolina.